Going on, guys? Welcome back to the Broad Street Boys, and today we are talking straight Sixers. The first week is completely done. I can't believe what I'm watching. My team's good. We're actually undefeated as the time that I'm recording this. Yeah, I can't believe it. So today we're gonna talk straight Sixers. I'm gonna talk about the amazing guard play and how we're getting some reinforcements coming up. I'm gonna talk about how the evolution of Joel Embiid so far throughout this entire year. Things I'm very excited for, and how this team's playing so well, and we haven't even had all of our best players yet, which is crazy to think about. And the fact that we have a pretty easy schedule coming up. So yeah, we're gonna get. I'm just gonna get into it. This is gonna be this is nuts. I truly can't believe what I'm watching with this team because you talked to me a year ago and I'm like, this team's old. Like I'm sick of seeing everybody playing so slow, all of that. But now I'm like, wow, this team is young. This team's fast. This team is fun. I'm confused as like a Sixers fan. Like I am totally back in. And I think on the last podcast I mentioned that I'm trying not to be all in. And I still am actively trying to not be all in. But they're starting to make it pretty tough to not be. Tyrese Maxey arguably is like a top three MVP candidate through 1 week. Obviously, it's through 1 week, so I'm not taking any stock in what I'm saying right now. But he is. He's averaging almost 40 points a game. And he has 2 games with 40-point plus. Um, he's just crazy. And let's talk about VJ Edgecombe. VJ Edgecombe, who I was told was this defensive wizard, especially on the perimeter, who can't really shoot threes, but like he could do it once in a while. It is more like a slasher type of mid-range guy. Now, VJ Edgecombe is shooting threes at a very good clip to start the year, which I'm very impressed by. Which means he's been in the absolute gym with Maxey, with all the coaches, with I don't know, his home coaches. Like it's just very cool to watch his evolution because I mean, one other thing is he is so young that I don't think people understand how young he is. Um, he he was a freshman last year in college, so I saw and everybody else saw the potential with him, and he's only what 20 or 21 years old. Like that's ridiculous. Um, and just to see like the fact that again, this is only through 4 games, so like things can change. I'm not trying to jinx anything, but I'm just saying what I've seen through 4 games, where we are 4-0 against pretty good teams too. Like the Celtics, yes, Tatumless. Um, they're not a bad team. We've had to come back in every single one of these games to win. The cardiac Sixers is what I'm gonna start calling them. Like these guys are going down double digits and coming back and winning. Um, but yeah, it's been a lot of Maxey, a lot of Edgecombe. Those two have definitely been leading the way. But I'm very proud of the two of them. And then also, Joel Embiid recently looks pretty solid. Game one, um, I'm starting to get not fed up, but a little fed up with the Sixers front office because if Embiid was going to be limited, why didn't you tell us that? Um, that's why I'm just a little confused. Yeah, like why wouldn't you list that in like a press conference or anything like that and be like, yo, Embiid is going to be limited tonight, so don't expect, him to play in the fourth quarter, last what, 10 minutes or whatever it was. Um, so that I was initially like pissed. I was like, is are they like benching him? Is he hurt? Like I had all these things in my head, and then I looked at his minutes, and I noticed that it was sitting at like 19 or 20. And I was like, that's definitely a restriction. And then they came out and said it was a restriction after they got like after Twitter was blowing up about it, calling Embiid washed, all these things. I was actually going to make a podcast about how you shouldn't call him washed after 1 game, or have like even post like a TikTok post like don't call him washed type of thing, because that is the dumbest assessment of a player ever. If you're some random podcaster like myself or even someone on the radio and you're saying that after seeing 1 game Embiid isn't the same, he did he not just have like that arthroscopic or whatever knee surgery? Like did that just not happen? You expect him to be 100% like all in? The answer should be no. But then going off of game one where he only played whatever and he looked not good. I saw a ton of clips, which this is a true thing that I did see, was that he didn't really jump a lot in game one. Like he had no lift. He still doesn't have a whole lot of lift, but he had no lift on his jump shots or even him trying to get back on defense and trying to block shots. He had no lift on anything. That was the thing that actually concerned me more than his like actual minutes. Just a me thing, but like he did not look very fast or very quick or very, I don't know, agile maybe is the right word. Um, so that was the aspect that kind of confused me for sure. So I was like, what is happening? But then game two, he put up what, 20 points? I think 20 points in game two, sat game three because it's the first half of a back to back, then he put up 25 a few days ago. Um, and all around the same amount of minutes, I think it was 20-ish minutes. So I'm proud of him in that case too, because that last Wizards game, if he just improves a little bit on defense and gets a little quicker, again, gets a little more lift to block some shots, I think he will be very close to what he was before. But what I also like is that when he's sitting, 4 minutes restrictions, they are a totally different team, and not in a bad way. They're just a totally different team. They are really fast. They try to get out in transition because it's usually Maxey, Edgecombe, Oubre, and then everybody else. And then especially when they put Bona in there, as soon as they put Adem Bona in there, all of a sudden I don't think I would hope that everybody knows this too, but he kind of makes them a total transition team. Like any type of made shot or even missed shot, you got to immediately throw it down. Like throw it right down the court and let's just see how fast we can score. That happens a lot when they put Bona out there. Um, when they put Drummond out there, it is definitely a little slower because Drummond is slower. I mean, it's not a hot take; it's just how it is. But when Adem Bona is out there, they're definitely trying to run you off the floor, which is entertaining to me. But it's just different from when Embiid's out there when they're actually running a half court offense and a really solid half court offense, trying to deal with the interior of the paint and seeing who's going to cover Embiid, who's going to leave Edgecombe wide open, who's going to leave Maxey double covered. Like that's just how they play with Joel Embiid, which is like fine. It's just a totally different um, play style, I guess, than when he's not on the floor. And I guess everybody can choose like what they like and what they don't like. A lot of people have said that they like the play style without Embiid. I'm very indifferent. I like both. I think both have their pros and cons. I think transition is fun. There's a lot of dunks. There's a lot of fun stuff. But at the same time, you also wear yourselves out. So then all of a sudden you're giving up a ton of points, which is why our defense has not been good. And we've literally last game we were in the 130s, and even going into overtime it was like what 129, I think. And even the games before that, you're like, wow, they're giving up a lot of points. But I think that'll also help. This also kind of leads into my next point, and I wonder how the offense is going to look with Paul George. And I wonder how Paul is going to come back because I am rooting for Paul. I think everybody should be rooting for Paul. And obviously you could feel however way you want, but like Paul George is a legend, and I feel like that's not a crazy take. Paul George, when healthy, is fast, exciting, smooth, just exciting in general. So maybe this time off for him could help him get hopefully close to the player he was, even on the Clippers. I don't even care. Be the dude on the Clippers. I don't care. But yeah, hopefully that will bring him to that level. But yeah, I wonder how it's gonna look. I also have a lot of questions about not Paul George's play style. Actually, sorry, about Paul George's play style, not about the player. I wonder what lineup they're gonna run with Paul. Because you could obviously play him in the Embiid system, but Paul George honestly operates more with better space, and I feel like the better spacing could come with the more transitional team. So I wonder if they'll play him more with that team or with the Embiid team, or equally split both, which is very possible. And I also have a feeling I have no source on this, but I have a good feeling that they are also sitting Paul George for the main reason that they want him to come back without a limits restriction or minutes restriction, sorry. Or at least not after game one. Maybe they'll have like a 20 to 25 minute restriction on him, which is like fine with me. Like I that's cool. It makes perfect sense to my head, because you're coming back after not playing since what, April? So like, dude, take your time. It's a long season, and they're already kind of doing it with Embiid, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're trying to do it with George. And I feel like they're doing all of this, and I feel like Embiid looks happier because I think he's supporting the plan they have. Again, no source, but I feel like last year there's a lot of butting heads between what Embiid wanted to do with his recovery slash playing versus what like the team wanted slash Morey slash I don't know Nurse. I feel like there was a lot of conflict in that case, um, which is not good, especially for a dude like Embiid who likes things a certain way. But I feel like it says a lot that through the first three games you see him celebrating everything in the fourth quarter, even when he's not in the game, celebrating everything in the fourth quarter. I love seeing like the sideline angle of the bench and Embiid's like the first dude like waiting to go celebrate with the team, and I feel like that was not a thing last year or even the year before. And I feel like there's just a whole different mindset, and I think that's perfect, and that's what we need as a team and as just I don't know everything. I think that's good for him too, because I feel like he almost felt so much pressure to either come back as soon as possible, as healthy as possible last year and the year before, that it kind of messed with his head, and he didn't like play as well. That's just how it was. After that injury, after he put up 70 points, I could tell mentally he was not right. Whether he was I don't know what I don't know really why. Maybe it could have been the fact that everybody was shitting on him for having Bell's palsy in his face while also tearing his meniscus. Like it could be that while everybody grilling into him how he's shooting too many free throws and all of this stuff. Like maybe that's probably why he was feeling like that, and then he almost felt pressure to come back, or he wanted to. Who knows? All in all, just to wrap up, what that means is that I feel like now he feels more comfortable with this team and with the current plan they're on, which is honestly good for me and it should be good for everybody, because we all know how great Joel Embiid can be when he's at the highest level of play. I wonder if we'll ever see that again. But even if we get like 80% of that, 80% is still a top 10 center in the entire league right now, which is perfect, which is exactly what we need. But with him, I just need him to get faster, and I need him to get a little bit of more lift on his jump shot if he can. I don't really know how you can work on that, but if those two things happen, then the quickness will help him play defense and get down the floor a little quicker, and then the lift will help him with his jump shot and the blocking shots. Those two things, if he does those two things, I think Joel Embiid will be back to a top 5 center in the entire league. Um, and you guys know me, like I'm just a big Embiid guy. So I really want to see this so bad. Like I think I may have mentioned this on a past podcast, but I never really watched Iverson. I'm 22 years old. My I barely remembered the Phillies winning the entire thing in 2008, and my consciousness really started in 2009. So I never really remembered Iverson playing on the Sixers. I recognized him as the absolute legend that he is, and I feel like Allen Iverson. I feel like every person around my age, or even I don't even know how old, but you have that player in your city that you wish you experienced, like in full, like you saw their entire career and like the ups and downs. I wish I saw Allen Iverson even when he left us. I know like it people were pissed, but at the same time, looking back on it now, he's one of the most beloved Philadelphia athletes, period. And was so good on the court and was probably a top 6, sure, top 6 point guard ever. And it's just a shame that he never won it, obviously, but that is one player that I wish I experienced. But all of that to tell you that Joel Embiid is like my Allen Iverson, and that he is by far the best player that I've remember seeing. He's better than Iggy. He's better than Lou Will. He's better than Drew Holiday. He's right around the same, avenue as like a James Harden or like a Jimmy Butler. But Embiid's been here for longer, so he's more. So I like him more. So again, all of that to say that I would love to see him back to 100% or even 80%. Because again, an 80% Embiid is still a top 7 center in the entire league. So yeah, that's my Joel Embiid soliloquy. You're welcome. This is what Jalen Hurts to me. This is what Jalen Hurts does to me. So I don't know what to tell you. But all that to say that we also have another reinforcement coming. Jared McCain is coming back. I don't really know when. It could be next week. It could be the week after. I think it'll be one of those. Hopefully we get an update soon. But I'm excited to see Jared McCain hoops. I mean, you guys I mean, you guys all remember Jared McCain, I would hope, how good he was last year and how reliable he was until he, hurt his knee, and then and then now the unfortunate wrist injury, which sucks. Um, but yeah, I'm really excited to see him. I wonder what the rotation is going to look like with him. He is a player that likes to play fast, but also is a better spot up shooter than Maxey and VJ, just like as an individual player. So I feel like even on the transition, you could play a small lineup. I mean, I would probably put Jared either 2 or 3, obviously, but I think on transition, Jared goes to the corner, if he doesn't have the ball, and then if the defense sucks in on whoever's trying to go up for a layup, you kick it out to McCain. McCain's wide open, he crushes it. So that's what I think will happen. But at the same time, Jared McCain is honestly a special player if he comes back anything like he was last year, and I think he will. Obviously, I've watched all of his YouTube stuff, and he's like the work ethic on that kid is so special, and I feel like that's going to translate eventually. And especially this year, he's gonna have a random game of like 30, and the city's gonna go crazy. Um, so yeah, I'm so excited for Jared McCain, and just going off of that also, Jared McCain is a special player in that he is really good at fitting a job in a role. If you need him on the court with Maxey and Embiid and no Edgecombe, imagine like Maxey, Embiid, George, McCain, and like Watford. Jared McCain would be fully content in going around the perimeter and waiting for that 3-point shot to put it up when needed. But at the same time, if an injury happens and he's like the only playmaker on the court, he will make plays. And he can make plays, and he's capable of doing all of that, which I think makes him one of our like secret, not really secret weapons because he's not secret, but one of our just true Swiss Army knives where he could do everything. If there's one thing I want to see him improve on is his defense. Obviously, I mean, I feel like that'll just come with time. And I feel like he only had what, half of the season to, yeah, around a half, I would say, to adjust to the NBA offenses and or like on the other side. And so I feel like his defense might not be great when he comes back, but I feel like he'll learn. And then I think we'll be talking March, April, and McCain will be much better defensively. And I feel like he'd also learn a lot from our vets as well. Like Paul George could probably help him out a little bit. Paul has not been a great defensive guy, but he has knowledge. Kyle Lowry, I think, will help him a lot defensively because Kyle in his day was a really solid defender. So it's just like players like that I feel like will help him down the road a ton. But all of that to say that I am so excited to see Jared McCain down the road. And our schedule isn't bad. The only harder games that we have are the Celtics and the Pistons in the next week or two. But the Celtics have not been the same since Jason Tatum, and I feel like it's showing you that he's better than Jaylen Brown. And I feel like that was so for some reason that was a hot take like a year ago. And you're like, oh my God, Jaylen Brown just got signed to a new max deal, this and that or whatever. But he looks like lost without Jason Tatum, which is shocking to me. Because I really thought Jaylen Brown would take a step, but he just doesn't look the same. And then the Pistons are weirdly bad too. Like I'm confused. They were what, a playoff team last year and looked pretty good against the Knicks. And all of a sudden they're like I saw the other day they got blown up by like 30, and I'm just like, what am I watching? But who knows? But those are like the two harder games because then we also randomly have like the Nets, and like teams of that caliber. I'm like, hopefully we'll win those. But yeah, it's definitely an exciting time to be a Sixers fan out of nowhere, and I feel like myself and other Sixers fans feel the same way that we're afraid to be hurt again, which is why the city isn't totally bought in yet, but at the same time we're all still having fun. And I feel like that word, it's such like a, if your team has fun, they'll be good. Like obviously, like obviously, if you're having fun on a basketball court, you're gonna play better. But I feel like it's really evident for this team because I feel like last year no one had fun. Not even Tyrese Maxey had fun, and I feel like that tells you a lot because that's just a happy guy. But now this year he looks like he's having fun. He looks super focused. And yeah, I'm excited. And I also like I've been liking our role players as well. This is the last thing I'll say, but Our role player has been really solid. I've been really impressed with what I've been seeing from like Kelly Oubre. Like Kelly Oubre has been putting up points without Paul George in there. He's honestly fit that role great, and I'm really proud of him. And another dude that who honestly came out of nowhere, and you would only know him if you watched the summer league like I did. Is Dominic Barlow. Dominic Barlow looks really solid as well, and he is out for what, a game or two. Um, but he in the first two games he looked really solid, plays really good defense, and just does a really good job fitting the role of a power forward when Watford's not in there. And I think Watford will learn. Um, Another young guy, Maxey's like best friend, which is I guess kind of cool. I guess everybody's having fun because everybody's friends, which is fun to watch. But yeah, I actually like how our role players are going, and Andre Drummond does look a little old, and that's okay. He's allowed to, but I think that his guidance to Embiid and Bona will be really helpful down the road, especially Bona, because I mean Embiid's starting to become a vet, and I really like what I've been seeing from Adem Bona. I'm pretty sure he had like what 5 blocks against the Wizards, and 2 of them were huge. So yeah, and that's another player that I'm waiting to just break out as well. I think we're starting to see it. So yeah, I'm honestly weirdly excited about the Sixers, and VJ Edgecombe, and everybody. And I just saw that Janai Broom got sent down to the uh, Bluecoats, which is not a bad thing. That get him some reps, because when Janai Broom's good, he is great. He was awesome at Auburn, so I'm just excited to see his progression as well down the road. But yeah, so I think I'm just gonna end it there. I'm really happy with this team for some reason, and I'm honestly excited. I was gonna do this last week, but sorry, I had fall break and I just wanted to take a week off. But yeah, so I'm very excited about the Sixers. I can't believe I'm saying that out loud, but I'm not all the way in. I'm like 98% in. You can't. I will not tell you I'm 100% in. I can't do that for my mental health if shit hits the fan. But yeah, so thank you all so much for watching today. Make sure to check out all of our socials. I'm going to try to post a little more. School's starting to die down a little bit, thankfully. I've had a literal 3-week stretch where I've been getting crushed with exams and projects, but as soon as I get past Monday, I'm going to have way more time just in general to do things. So I'm going to try my best to post things, do some TikTok stuff. Like, all in all, to say, keep an eye out for all the Broad Street Boy stuff. But yeah, so check us out there. I'm on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter. And then you're obviously watching this on Spotify and YouTube. So keep, crushing it. I really appreciate all the recent success on YouTube. I really appreciate it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Eagles bye week, so go Sixers. Trust the process, baby.